If diamonds are a girl's best friend, then what would you call a cursed pearl that destroys marriages? Her worst enemy? Well, if so, then one pearl in particular managed to make plenty of enemies over centuries of ruining its owner's love lives. For about 300 years, the infamous La Peregrina pearl was the largest to have ever been found, originally weighing in just shy of 56 carats or about 11 grams. It's also one of the most perfectly pear-shaped pearls known, but perhaps it would have been better had this beautifully symmetric pearl never been discovered at all. Before you get to know all the marriages this supposedly cursed pearl has broken up over the years, let's first go way back in time, to the very beginning of La Peregrina's rich history. As the story goes, it was a slave in Panama who found the pearl in the early 1500s. Imagine being such a poor man and coming across something so valuable. But he didn't keep it for himself and flee. He handed it over to the authorities. Maybe he was hoping they'd grant him his freedom for this treasure. It was a smart move, because that's exactly what they did. Since Panama was a Spanish colony at the time, La Peregrina was then immediately handed over to Prince Philip II of Spain. The prince would later become the king, who would marry the first of England. She was his second wife, by the way. The first one didn't work out. King Philip presented his new bride with the mesmerizing pearl as a wedding present. How thoughtful. I imagine they had a long, happy marriage, right? Well, if they did, then this would be a really short video. Hey, you should know how this story ends by now. Mary and Philip never got divorced, but it is known that the king left her not long after tying the knot. He never came back, not even when Mary got extremely ill. Now, to be fair, there's more than one reason why Philip might have decided to leave his new wife. Well, if you don't count the fact that, apparently, he didn't find Mary to be as attractive as she was in the portraits of her that he had been shown. While the queen might have fallen head over heels in love with the king after seeing a painting of His Highness, the feelings weren't mutual. She was infatuated with him, but he'd only agreed to the marriage for strategic purposes. Granted, that was a common occurrence among world monarchies at the time. Anyway, once he got his new title as king of both Spain and England, he pretty much booked it out of there. Oh yeah, and there's one more minor detail that could have played a role. You see, Mary was quite contrary, known as Bloody Mary. Yes, the one and only. Let's just say this ruthless queen had a taste for getting rid of people she didn't like very much. That could have been why Philip left, or it could have been the title thing, Mary's not-so-enticing looks, or, given the victims yet to come, it may have been the cursed pearl at work. Mary did cherish her gift and liked to wear it as a pendant. There are even paintings of her with a pear-shaped treasure hanging around her neck. But after she passed away in 1558, the pearl was returned to Philip. Now this sounds like something straight out of a soap opera, but the Spanish king tried to give La Peregrina to Mary's half-sister and successor, Elizabeth I, as a way to propose marriage. But if you know anything about the good Queen Bess, you'll know that she immediately rejected him, and any other man that tried for that matter. So Philip kept his big shiny pearl, and it stayed with the Spanish crown for the next 250 years. He married a third and fourth time, which only serves to verify the bad luck and love that this treasure brought with it. Fast forward to the time of his grandson, Philip IV, who presented La Peregrina to his second wife, Mariana. After she passed away in 1696, little was heard of the pearl for 100 years, until it reappeared in history with Joseph Bonaparte. You might recognize that famous surname. Well, after Napoleon Bonaparte had declared himself Emperor of France, he made his older brother Joseph the King of Spain, which meant that his wife Julie Clary would be queen. She was the next lucky lady to receive the pearl as a gift from her husband. But it wasn't as if those two were just a couple of lovebirds either. Julie preferred to live with her family at their chateau instead of with her husband, earning her the nickname the Absent Queen. Like with Mary and Philip, The curse didn't affect these two to the point of divorce, but they pretty much lived totally separate lives. In his will, Joseph left La Peregrina to his nephew, Napoleon III. It was also around this time that the pearl got its famous name, which translates to the Wanderer, and it's no wonder, given how many hands it passed through by this point. Unfortunately, but not so surprisingly, Napoleon III's marriage with his wife, Eugenie de Montijo, also wasn't a happy one. From Napoleon, it was sold to an English duke by the name of James Hamilton in 1848. He bought the pearl for his wife, Louisa. Now, this couple's love was too strong for any curse, and they had a good and happy marriage. But perhaps the pearl was up to other schemes by then. Louisa almost lost the thing twice, once in a sofa and another time at a ball. But it wasn't irresponsibility on the Duchess's part. It's just that the pearl was so heavy, it could easily fall out of its necklace. Their oldest son inherited the gem and had it drilled so that his wife could wear it without losing it. The pearl was eventually sold by the fourth Duke to a London jewelry dealer in 1969. The jeweler put it up for auction, and it was bought by actor Richard Burton for an astounding $37,000. He gave it to his wife as a present for Valentine's Day. I'm sure you've heard of his spouse, the one and only Elizabeth Taylor, also known for her famous roles on screen. Another thing the actress is associated with is her reputation as probably one of the most unlucky people when it comes to love. Now, Liz had been married 4 times before she got hitched with Burton in 1964, so when he presented his lovely wife with the cursed pearl, I imagine he double-sealed the fate on their marriage forever. That is, he wasn't the first and he wouldn't be the last. Anyway, as if Taylor hadn't already seen enough bad luck up to this point, the night she received the pearl, it went missing. Maybe the universe was desperately trying to put an end to this curse. It had tried and failed twice with the Duchess Louisa, so perhaps this time would be it. In any case, Taylor looked everywhere and couldn't find the precious pearl. But just as she was about to lose all hope, she saw one of her Pekingese pups chewing on something white. She thought it was a bone, but to her surprise, it was her brand new pearl. So it was her dog trying to save her love life, not the universe. The pooch spat out the $37,000 pearl, and Liz's fate was sealed. Okay, there's no proof that La Peregrina was to blame for these two actors' failed marriage, but on the other hand, there's also no proof that it wasn't. In fact, Burton and Taylor married and divorced each other twice. But hey, maybe this union was the luckiest in all of Taylor's marriages because Burton was the only man out of 7 that she'd tried twice with. After their second divorce in 1976, Elizabeth did not get rid of the pearl. She simply had it redesigned into a necklace with other pearls, diamonds, and rubies. She then married again and again. But after her 1996 divorce with husband number 7, Taylor decided to tap out of the marriage game for good. In the end, La Peregrina, the Wanderer, really lived up to its name, traveling through time, crossing continents from a slave to kings and queens to Hollywood actors, and leaving ruined marriages in its wake. Are you wondering where the pearl is today? It was sold at Christie's auction house on December 14, 2011, to a private buyer for a whopping $11.8 million. As for the person who bought it, it's hard to know how their love life is going. Let's just hope the curse is over and all is well with them. So, do you think La Peregrina was the reason for these multiple failed marriages, or was it just coincidence? Let me know your theories down in the comments. And if you learned something new today, then give this video a like and share it with a friend. But hey now, don't ignore my pearls of wisdom just yet. We have over 2,000 cool videos for you to check out. All you have to do is pick the left or right video, click on it, and enjoy. Stay on the bright side of life.